It seems like a really weird incident, and there needs to be more investigation into it, guaranteed.
Yeah, without the details being disclosed, it does appear that this could be an illustration of those TSA protocols of bypassing security in effect.
Our next article here discusses the way that this incident, which happened on Christmas Day, is going to affect all of us now. President Barack Obama has announced changes to the government's terrorist watch list, and White House spokesman Bill Burton said that they are going to basically what they call scrub people from the databases, and that dozens of people are going to be shifted to either no-fly list or to a selectee list that requires special screening and patting down and checking of all the things that you have. So they've upgraded a whole list of Americans who they consider to be possible domestic terrorists to a whole nother level on this now. When they already had the opportunity to get this guy before he got on the plane, it's already been admitted, and yet they still claim they need to up more things and screen more people and put you through naked body scanners and the rest of it.
Yeah, I mean, like, how much does the government have to know about these, potential incidents and allow them to happen, and then, like, we continue to give up more of our rights and our freedoms, in effect, sacrificing them so that way that we can feel safer when they had everything that they needed for this incident on Christmas Day to have prevented it. And then now I'm being told that I can't have a magazine in my lap, and there's a bunch of other protocols they're trying to institute now where you can't get up and go to the bathroom. Yeah. I mean, what are they going to do? Give you a colostomy bag now, or is part of what your flight package is? And they'll probably charge you for it.
Yep.
It'll be another bag.
Be an extra fee on top of that.
In airports is another measure to ensure our safety, supposedly. This is a $165 million deal for body scanning devices from a company called L3 Communications. And this is a contract for what they call the ProVision scanners. These scanners can scan your body by generating X-ray-like images of anything underneath your clothing. So basically, in effect, they get a naked image of your body. We also have another story that we'll have posted about how they can actually take a picture, a snapshot of your naked body, and they can send that out under something called test mode, which is quite outrageous. And this company that is the only one to have won TSA certification for their body scanners is actually number 8 on worldwide defense contractor list. Yeah, and so as a result, the military-industrial complex is set to make a killing, effectively, in the aftermath with these tighter security restrictions.
Yeah, it seems like every time that there is some type of crisis, there's a group of people out there who seem to make money off of it.
Oh yeah, they're just poised to profit.
Yeah. Our next article is from the San Francisco Gate and concerns a few airports around the world who actually haven't cracked down on security in the last week or so because of these attacks. And they have actually been on a list now that has been put out by the United States, and where they've demanded more careful screening of anybody traveling from this list of nations here. People traveling from Cuba, Iran, Sudan, Syria, Afghanistan, Algeria, Iraq, Lebanon, Libya, Nigeria, Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, Somalia, or Yemen are all going to be subject to extra searching now as a White House decree that's been put out, and they can expect to have longer waits, that's for sure. So get to the airport earlier if you're from any of those countries. And,
yeah, I think in the article it says somebody had to wait, like, I think was told to be there 7 hours early.
Yeah. And they also have reported, U.S. Passengers have reported coming into airports that they've been being separated by gender, and they've been having full pat-downs and body scans and everything, which really is behavior you would expect to be being done towards criminals, not average citizens trying to visit family over the holidays.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and as long as people acclimate themselves continually and accept this and are complacent, the more that they're going to accept these intrusions on other parts of their lives. There's certainly massive psychological ramifications to these kind of demands to fly on these federally regulated flights. That's why we should get like a better train system. I'm not going to fly anymore, that's for sure, as long as this kind of ridiculous lunacy is in place.
Yeah, I like the train. I've had good times going on the train before, and you get to see a lot more. It takes a little bit longer of time,
Mm-hmm. All right, and next story we have for you is from Russia Today. This is on Congressman Denis Kucinich, who is circulating a resolution to end the war in Afghanistan, saying that he's trying to force a vote on whether we will stay. Some of the article is just full of excellent quotes summarizing how insane the current political landscape is on this issue, not to mention that the entire rationale for these wars is corrupt in itself. Just says that you cannot buy friends. Everyone knows this. The friends who you try to buy are the least reliable of your friends. The friends we try to buy in Afghanistan are with us one day, and the next day they're shooting at us. He also says, pointing out that war is not a way to create jobs, it's a way to kill jobs. Kucinich goes on to explain that the American government now wants to put a bill for unemployment benefits into a bill to fund the war. He goes on to also state the ridiculousness of this, that what they are trying to tell the American people is this: if you agree to put your sons and daughters on the firing line, then we will pay for you standing in the unemployment line. They have the two tied together. It is grossly immoral.
Yep, I would agree. And, not many people in the Congress right now are fighting against the war in Afghanistan. It seems now everybody's basically for it. Now that Obama's president, all the people who were against the war under Bush are now for the war, or at least accept it. Yeah. And I find that pretty disturbing and highly intellectually dishonest to be okay with it under one administration and not okay with it under another, when it's the same war, and in fact has only been ramped up. He sent another 30,000 troops to Afghanistan, so this thing isn't going to end anytime soon, I don't think.
Yeah, and more of this defense spending may contribute heavily to the further collapse of our economy here in America.
Yeah.
I mean, where are we supposed to get this money from?
Well, they'll probably borrow more of it like they have been doing.
Out of thin air from the Federal Reserve.
Our international segment today comes first from the Washington Post, an article considering Liu Xiaobo, who is a Chinese leading dissident. He's been sentenced to 11 years in prison for subversion charges. He's been charged with inciting subversion of state power, and mostly the evidence used against him was his writings from Charter 08, and a petition advocating human rights, free speech, and the end to one-party rule is what Charter 8 consisted of. There are many other people who signed on to it and worked on it, but he was one of the leading people. And according to the San Francisco-based human rights group, the Duahua Foundation, Liu's sentence was longer than any other sentence that's been handed down for inciting subversion charges. And they didn't. The judge barred journalists and foreign diplomats from attending. Didn't allow anyone into the whole thing. And a lot of people have been making an outcry from the world about it because the guy was basically a free speech activist. And of course, the political power in China is still very centralized and controlling over things like that. Yeah,
repressive. Yeah, and they wouldn't even allow them to submit evidence. All their evidence, and their time to speak and defend themselves was limited to 14 minutes over a 3-hour hearing.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully he survives, because those prisons out there, they're work camps, and they're not very good accommodating living conditions for
11 years he's got to go, and he's already pretty old, so we'll see what happens.
Yep, and meanwhile, Obama's calls for repairing the human rights issues there goes unanswered. Well, that's where we get all of our stuff from. Don't want to ruin the supply line, so all the people during our economic collapse can feel like we're advanced and have a lot of material goods coming from environmental and human slavery.